You're listening to the principal's office. This is D'Angel.
I'm Liam.
I'm Stacy.
And we are welcoming our first guest, Trevor Cushman.
Hello, everyone.
Bonjour.
Do you manage the list? Like,
I manage the list. And they can say one wrong thing and get booted.
And they're just crossed off.
Or they can be too little, or they can be, never too big. Never too big.
No, but there has to be something too big.
No.
Well, look at that acoustic guitar. Right?
Yeah.
Hello, is Mount Everest too big?
It is. Honestly, it is.
People die.
That's why I'm calling Bear Mountain and upstate New York. That's about
There's
my
a whole movie called Everest where everyone dies.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
it is too big.
I mean, that there are disqualifiers, but honestly, it's just they show interest, they want to hang out, they get on the wait list, and then I kind of prioritize.
Should be about.
And if they show, can they show too much interest? Will that
if they blow up my phone or try to play games, pretend that they're not.
Girl.
Like, I have some that'll text me, and they'll pretend they're someone else, just so that they can see that I'm actually available, and then they show up at my door.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Right. And then they ring the doorbell, ding, 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 and I don't answer.
This happens here.
Oh, yes.
What programs do you use? Grindr?
Mm-mm.
You mentioned Craigslist last time.
Really? Craigslist, yeah.
What's wrong with Grindr? I feel like that's something.
Okay, just a little history on the D'Angel.
I feel like this should just be our podcast.
Oh, God, no.
What happened to all the structure?
I know.
We just ask him questions.
You don't need that too much. No, so there is, there's Craigslist, there's Grindr, there's Daddy.com, there's so many gay sites.
Scruff?
Exactly. But the unfortunate situation with me is that I tend to be of a different breed. I kind of consider myself to be the perfect hybrid. Gay, but can fall into the tranny world, can be a drag queen, So therefore, it doesn't work on Scruff. It doesn't work on Grindr. It doesn't work on... Because these are men who want men. They want to see them scruffy and ready to...
And are those the ones I've heard that Grindr has can be very racist or just things where
it can be, but it's the
not
same
across the board.
But it's the same on every gay site you go on. Any gay site you go on, it's always going to be no fat, no femme, masculine only. And those are the ones you have to watch out for because usually they're the biggest bottoms on the planet.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't think that's exclusive to the gay community, though. I mean, if I'm lonely at night before bed and I'm going to fire up the old laptop, I'm not going to be like, anybody will do, just as long as they have a good...
Well, it depends on what you're looking for.
You're looking for someone with ideas.
If I go on the popular Moco Space, which is actually more popular on the West Coast. It's a chat, kind of a chat.
Okay.
But you can chat all over the place.
Okay.
Worldwide.
All right.
And... It's actually more Latin because I prefer Latin men.
Okay.
And on Moco Space.
So what's that? What are you playing? Is that not like playing in the snow? So what's that?
Well, no, you get everybody on Moco Space. So you can mostly.
Is that an acronym or Moco Space?
Yeah.
No, it's just I've always wondered, but it's just MOCO.
It's almost Moco, but
Space.
it's not a Moco.
Ignore. And there's a lot of, I don't do chocolate. I don't want no blacks. Oh, there's a lot of that.
But I feel like there's unfiltered sort of, because that's...
At least in the straight world, BBCs, as they're called, are on high demand, man.
They are, because we're in a society right now.
BlacksOnBlonde.com?
But we're in a society where dicks are little. Pardon the expression. I'm using the word DICK. They're little. And BBCs are... what? They're little.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of little going on. There's too much little going on. And I'm sorry. I have something that I'm about to say. I have a big ass. 7 inches don't do. What am I going to do with 3 inches? It takes 4 to pass my ass to.
Yeah. Isn't there a belt or something you could
This is not Tickle Me Elmo. I'm sorry, America. Just go on and write the note. There is a sign outside this slide that says you must be.
Do you indicate that in your profile?
Yeah, usually. Whenever I put up a new profile, I'll say this is what I want. Usually they all get annoyed and they all try to play games to try to get in. It's not going to happen.
So what's the difference between that and no chocolate or no... people have their own preferences, right?
I mean, we get called size queens, but that's okay because we are a size queen.
Okay.
You're upfront about it. I mean, Janet Jackson is a well-known size queen.
She is?
Isn't she? Somebody was putting some blinds out that she's into some dark stuff, right?
Are you reading blinds now?
I think they were from you, actually.
Probably.
There was she was the unconfirmed answer to who is into some crazy
I can see it.
Keeps some house slaves and such.
So Trevor's referring to blind items, which is something that I was very into, really obsessed with for 5 years until the app that I used to find them stopped being an app. But basically, what it is, it's Hollywood gossip. Where they say, this A-list actress from a network TV show is boinking her hairdresser, or something like that.
Okay.
And there's no slander involved, because they don't ever say who it is.
Right.
But then in the comment section, people will figure it out, because it's
they drop quite easy.
Yeah.
But then it becomes an equation or a puzzle where this A-lister and this A-list movie star and this B-list singer are together, but then this C-list whatnot showed up.
So what do we figure out about Janet?
I can't remember the exact one that you're speaking of, but I think I think she's into some kinky, nasty shit, which would make sense.
Yeah, it was kinky stuff with something about it, employing specifically sex employees. I think something like that, or.
I could see. I mean, she's got the resources.
I mean,
pregnant at 50. Good for her.
I'll put it this way. So her husband Wiesem,
she's married.
Her husband Wiesem.
That sounds like what a little kid would fuck up my name.
Yeah.
She is married to
Liam Neeson's name.
She is married to Wiesem Almana.
Wiesem the best.
Wiesem Almana,
my favorite uncle,
who is part of the Almana. It's some huge family,
okay.
in
the Maloofs?
Qatar. Exactly.
It's also my favorite thing to order at a Portuguese restaurant.
But they are a billionaire family.
I wonder how they met. I wonder if they met on Moco.
Supposedly,
Sheik introduced them.
Supposedly, he was friends with Jermaine, or
Dupree?
he was when she was dating Jermaine.
Okay,
and then somehow, some way, I guess
a cuckold.
Wiesem was in the picture and was kind of that listening ear to Janet when things weren't going the way it should have been going. And then she jumped fence and went with Wiesem.
He is Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Yeah, pretty much. Ooh. I mean, he's a handsome guy, but he's got billions. Anyway, he's a well-known, very respectable, up there Muslim. And, the journey was that she married him and laid down the law, because basically in those marriages he can have X amount of wives. Really? Well, she put the kibosh on that one and told him if he was getting this cookie, there weren't any more cookie factory for him.
Yeah.
And that's how they were able to kind of keep that together. And now she's pregnant and having his child.
At 50.
How long has she been married?
About 2012, so 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember one of my first boy-girl things when I was a little kid, when I started realizing
your spring awakening.
A little bit of my spring, my Arab Spring, was when she was on the cover of some maybe Rolling Stone. There was just some guy holding her boobs, and she was just
Oh yes, I remember that.
I think that was her then husband.
Yes,
Seal.
Yes.
I don't know why.
That wasn't Jermaine.
And she was wearing
unbuttoned.
low-waisted jeans,
And
they were unzipped, and then she had her arms in the air.
Those
and it was
jeans were amazing.
That changed the whole course of my life because I was like,
really?
Power Rangers, and then I saw that like on my, I think my aunt's like,
he's like boing.
Coffee table. I'm like, what the? Whoa!
When was
I didn't know
your spring awakening?
I didn't know what to make of it.
When was your spring awakening?
I had to grip the bottle for this one.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
No, I mean, I was in a very actively sexual family that always talked about sex. So I remember sex talking, hearing about it when I was 6 or 7. And I think when I was 9 was when I first saw the first BBC, as you put it.
In real life or in...
Oh, no, in real life.
The British
I mean, I had
Broadcasting
already
Channel?
seen porn. I mean,
In 9?
My dad would watch porn, and I'd see it all the way down the hallway. So that was like, I was at the drive-in theater watching that.
Would he watch it in sort of...
The
at
family
night or
room?
something?
No,
Yeah,
he would be
Open.
watching it in his room, and I'd see his TV from down the hallway. So I would know what was going on. I mean, whatever. But I'd be watching the TV and be like, oh, okay, I see what this is all about. But, a typical gay youth that knows they're gay from a very young age
A youth.
looks at stuff like that like, oh, okay, we're still attracted to men. I mean, I did have a moment where I was kind of like, oh, I kind of have a crush on this girl, but yeah, that wasn't going to work for me.
Who was your first, celebrity person?
Crush?
Yeah, Janet Jackson was his,
I mean, crush-wise, I was still very independent as a child, so I didn't have crushes like that. I knew that in school, I liked certain guys that were in school, but that was it. Yeah, I didn't have oh my God, okay, the very first celebrity crush I can remember, Jordan Knight.
Hell
New Kids on the Block. I was
Which
in
one's
fucking...
He's getting married.
I know.
Got engaged.
Is he the dark hair one?
He's the dark-haired one. He's usually does
Okay.
most of the leads.
Okay.
He was the one who had his solo career.
I watched
Yeah,
that series where they're on the cruise ship, the New Kids on the Block cruise, that all these ladies go on
Are screaming
to
heads
watch
Fans.
them.
Fans.
The super fans.
All these old ladies, they're
and the
fans.
super old lady flashes Donnie, I think, and then he is like, oh, what the fuck, and then walks away, and she cries for the rest of the cruise,
It's
trying to apologize to him. It's the
some old lady
most
tits.
amazing show.
Yeah.
It's
God.
so interesting because these ladies pay big money to be on this boat with New Kids on the Block,
Well, they're going on tour right now again
but they all look like
with
cocaine.
Paul Abdul.
My
and
roommate's
Boyz
a big
II Men.
fan and told totally. She saw them when they, I think this summer, rolled through there's some venue, is it on Coney Island or something like that?
Oh, the
amphitheater?
one.
Yeah. They
I saw Willie Nelson there.
I think they filled up. It's a non-Barclays kind of venue.
Yes, it's cool. It's really cool. It's like an outside area. There's hot dogs.
I remember the first time I saw that, I was on a plane coming back to New York, and we were going over Coney Island. I love seeing this. I love trying to see the city from a plane.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's just Long Island, Queens Airport. But for this, we went over Coney Island. I'm like, this is sweet. And then I saw the amphitheater, and we were not that far above it.
Is it open? It's open air.
Yeah.
So it's closed now. It's just a summer thing.
But I was like, what the fuck is that? That's awesome. I had no idea it was there.
Wow.
I had the chance to go see Erykah Badu, and I didn't go.
Why?
Oh.
Because I didn't want to go with the group that was going.
Oh.
Understandable.
I mean, I smoke weed, but on occasion. They smoke weed on a daily, try-time basis.
Well, you hang out with them on occasion. You smoke weed on occasion.
I mean, like I said, it's an occasional situation for me.
So many states just got recreational marijuana.
Right.
I mean, why?
California.
Yeah, California.
Yeah, Maine.
got it big time.
Maine.
Was Massachusetts already? Is that the closest to here?
Yeah.
That is full
I
legal
think so.
recreational.
Yeah.
But California's is weird, though, because their legalization wasn't where the taxation was going in the right direction. So that there was a lot of people that were protesting against it because it wasn't like Colorado, for instance. Their taxation goes towards the educational system. It goes towards the state. This is privatized legalization. So therefore, it only goes to the 3 people.
Well, they can always change that. And you're from there originally and lived there a long time?
From California.
I went to college there and lived there for a while after, and I mean, even before this, like, it was, the medical thing was a joke at the point that I left 3 years ago. It was like, you just go down to the Venice Boardwalk and go talk to a doctor. I have headaches, sort of thing.
Right.
So it's,
and they're more than happy to give you a card.
Right. Here.
Did you get a card?
I never did. No. I've never paid for weed.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've smoked from people in this room before many times.
I mean, Adam is always holding. So if you ever need some, just
no.
like,
I've never paid for it either.
Not
I've never had to.
If immigration is listening,
which on the one hand, like, you never have to, but is there a novelty? For me, there's sort of a novelty where it's like, oh yeah, like, I just have never had to or never done it.
If I had to give up booze or weed, someone's like, you will die unless you give up one of these two. I'll give up booze.
Yeah.
I give up booze and I would smoke weed for the rest of my life and be happy and be fulfilled.
Indians do it.
Great.
What's up?
I mean, alcohol is pretty sweet.
Alcohol is great, but also, like, there's a lot of problems. Beyond hangovers, like, there's like chemical consequences to drinking a lot of alcohol, and I'm sure there's chemical consequences to smoking marijuana, but it's not nearly the same. There's so, like, the positive, the creativity, the mellowness, the, like, ego death that comes along.
I think the best part about this conversation, though, is that we are drinking a rum punch
We're
that I
drinking rum
said
punch.
just tastes red.
It tastes red.
It does. It tastes like
Red color.
It tastes like Hawaiian punch.
Yes.
It was created at a family function where the ladies were getting on my nerves personally, and I wanted to make something that was gonna calm them down, and so I just got to pouring stuff in a bottle, and finally I got to the rum and I just said, oh fuck it, just poured it all in there, and I gave it to them, and next thing I know, they're all singing songs. Oh my God, what is this called? Oh my God, they're like, oh my God, I feel so. One of them was like, oh my God, I'm moist, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Moist?
This isn't.
So therefore,
Family get together. Yeah.
Therefore, it got called Red Panties.
That was the best Christmas ever. Oh, that's why it's called Red Panties.
That's why it's called Red Panties.
Okay.
It's because she just a hot mess. She's like, I'm moist, and I'm like, well, go talk to your husband.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's about time to rekindle that flame.
You're right.
Can I, just curiosity question, hop back to the porn watching awakening sort of thing?
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Yeah.
My question was just was there, because did you grow up in Southern California?
I grew up in Northern California.
Northern California. Mm-hmm. This maybe answers the question, but was there any, when you, realizing you were gay, was there any, like, oh no, I don't want to be gay?
No.
It was
no.
Northern California.
I mean, it was
accepting.
It wasn't necessarily an accepting thing. It was just something that I knew was just the way it was going to be. Like it wasn't something that was necessarily barred. I mean, of course, in my family, it's very open, and I mean, my dad asked me when I was 13, "Are you gay?" And I'm like I hemmed and hawed, of course, because I mean, I was kind of felt like I was in trouble.
Did he ask? Did he ask it openly, or was it?
No, it was openly. It was very open, and he was just like, I never want you to feel like you can't say it. Now don't you feel better? And it was great. I mean, me and my dad didn't have the best relationship, so this was one of the good moments.
So it wasn't because of that.
No.
Okay.
But who at 13 wants to answer their parents on?
Well, exactly. Really? I mean, we were on a whole nother page anyway. But no, I had always known. And on top of that, I always knew that I loved Latin men. My first crush from school, second grade, was the Latin guy. So...
And Indian men from the last one I heard.
Ooh,
I listened.
I mean, yeah.
Is that a overlapping Venn diagram?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, because you have to remember, I'm from Vallejo, California. Vallejo is pretty much, it was predominantly black, and then it grew by leaps and bounds. Filipinos then took over. I can't say there were too many. I mean, there were whites that were there, but not too many. But
my grandpa and my dad are from there. They were
nice.
White trash in Vallejo.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's in Vallejo.
Yeah.
But Vallejo grew by
I'm triggered.
mounds.
I'm triggered by that, Trevor.
I
just
pause
derailed the whole conversation.
Pause for trigger, and we're back.
Yeah. We're back.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Most of my trysts when I was young were black boys.
Okay.
That's because that was what the population was.
That was what was around.
Mm-hmm. The known other gay boys that were in town that weren't out. They were out, but they didn't want to acknowledge it. Would chase me down later on, and I'd have an altercation with one, an altercation with the other one.
An altercation, like
sexual altercation.
So not a fist. I was
Not
thinking.
a fist.
I was thinking like a physical.
One of,
like, yeah, fuck
one,
that dude up.
one of them grabbed my hat in Safeway, which is a grocery store.
Rude.
Ran with it to the back bathroom just so he could flash me. Just so
That's elaborate. Yeah.
No, just so that something could possibly happen. You know, and I should have known back then that I wasn't necessarily attracted to the gay man.
Okay.
Because it didn't do anything for me.
I think that's pretty. Isn't that pretty common though? Like you like a brawny.
Is this the
brawny?
Is this the no femme thing?
No, I think just for me because I grew up having more female tendencies. I was more prone to want a more masculine guy.
You want the contrast.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was all about the contrast. It was never about, I want to be, the boyfriend. No, it was never going to be about that. My oldest brother is gay. And he would at one point come and tell me, you need to be more of a man. How do you want to find a man if you don't want to be a man?
Right.
And that just didn't work for me, because I'm going to be me. I'm going to be a big old diva. That's who I am. Of course, sure, I have my boy moments. I think that's probably why I don't do drag as much now as I could have done.
Okay.
Because I was more about being who I was. And to me, that wasn't freedom. And that's what it's all about to me. It's about being who I want to be. And I'm not going to conform. I'm not going to confine. I like to be free.
Yeah.
Because drag is sort of it's an alternate persona
exactly.
sort of thing, right? An empowering alternate, like you put on the hair, put on the makeup, and then you can.
Now, mind you, I can do it, and when I've done it, it's been scary. It's been great, and I'm not saying that it's like scary Sherry, like oh my god, she's horrid. I'm talking about getting out the car and like the bellboys and the guy driving the car. They literally are just like oh my god. And like I'm dealing with the other side of the issue, which is the question mark men that are out there that are down to try it for that first time, and they're trying to bother me with it in that state. And it feels weird to me in that state.
What do you mean in that state? So they're fucked up and they're like, maybe I might like this.
And I
feel like you
it.
live in Westworld and I live in the regular world.
What's Westworld?
What is Westworld?
Don't you feel like he lives in Westworld and we live in the other
You
world?
are fucking Thandie Newton from Westworld, and you are becoming aware. I love her.
Thandie Newton.
Thandie.
Can I? All right.
Is that how you?
I'm so glad you corrected me on that because I have all of a sudden in the past week developed a huge crush on Thandie Newton.
She's fucking amazing.
Here's
What
my
is her? Maeve.
Crash.
Maeve. Oh my God, Crash. Here's
Mission
the
Impossible
three.
2.
Here's the
Yes.
trifecta of my
Chronicles of Riddick.
attraction.
Oh shit.
The trifecta of my attraction to Thandie Newton. Number one is her shoulders. They're so defined and they're so small and like just nice, and she's just because a lot of the interaction with her on
It's
Westworld
true, is bust.
It's like a bust. It's like shoulders up, and her shoulders are
They
so
have a Western sort of
nice.
what's
beautiful.
the-
But then every once in a while,
Bustier.
every once in a
Corset
while, they'll walk her through the lab
Yes.
or whatever. Spoiler
Naked.
alert. And she's naked as fuck.
Naked.
And she's got these double D's and these.
No, she does. They're not that big.
Dude, they're big.
In your mind.
They're
No.
probably like
All right.
these, huh?
I'm gonna just go out here on a limb and say I know a lot about boobs. And she's got double D's, and she's got these big like fucking Hershey Kiss nipples.
That's bigger. The
You notice the nipples though when she's lying there on the thing. They're like resetting her.
The ring you're making with your fingers is much bigger than a Hershey Kiss. This is a
chocolate.
No, you're right. So what it is it's like if you were to try to make a homemade Hershey Kiss, you're like, okay, I'll follow this thing on Yahoo recipes. You tried to make one; it was really big, and then that's what her nipples look like. And she's got that sexy accent that you don't. Oh my god,
she's like it's ambiguous where she's.
She's mixed race, isn't she?
Isn't she milk chocolate?
No, I mean no. She's foreign. She's not of America.
I think she's
a mix. Is she?
No, yeah.
No, she is biracial. She's biracial, but she's not from America.
Oh. Is she Australian or something?
No, I don't think she's Australian. I think she's British.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so hot.
Can we get a fact checked, please?
Fact checked.
What's her name again?
Thandie Newton.
Like Thandie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was actually thinking about that.
Check our.
I was thinking about doing that for like a new segment where we talk about our like crush of the week.
Yes.
And because mine is Thandie Newton, big time.
I've always loved her.
Well, this is quite a good segment because we talked about your spring awakening earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, actually, there's Janet Jackson.
There's like kind of a.
There's Thandie Newton.
I love that Janet is your spring awakening.
Sort of.
All right,
and I'm sure she would.
She was one of them, but the real actual.
Oh, don't diminish Janet here. But go ahead.
Okay, yeah, let him talk. This is a vulnerable space.
This is a safe,
right?
You know what?
Space.
So she was a real part of it, but the real one that got me was this show called The Secret World of Alex Mack. Have you ever seen it? It was
Alex Mack?
Alex Mack was on Nickelodeon. And I must have been, this was probably way earlier than the Janet Jackson thing, but Alex Mack was on Nickelodeon. And basically she was this like...
White girl?
Yeah, she was.
She wore like a backwards hat.
She wore a backwards hat.
Was she the star of another thing?
She was in the Babysitter's Club.
Her name is Larissa Olena.
And she was Bianca in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yep.
Yeah, and she was also in one of my favorite movies called 100 Girls. Have you ever seen that?
Yes. Oh my god, that movie is so
amazing.
good.
And the cast is incredible.
Yes, because champagne cups.
Yep.
Champagne coupes.
Yep. Have you ever seen 100? You
no,
love this movie.
The last so 5 or so pop culture references.
So hang on.
No idea.
I'll explain 100 Girls. Yeah. I'll explain 100 Girls right now in a nutshell.
I have it on DVD.
No, that I've heard of.
Ooh,
but
can you let Trevor borrow it?
Okay, yeah. I'm going to find the DVD and I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
So basically, it's this guy, and he's got like a work study position as like the maintenance guy in an all girls dorm in a college, and he's a virgin. He's a total virgin, and he's like, I will never find love. And he's
like kind of dorky.
He's dorky.
What is the rating of this? This is
it's probably like a -1 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh no, I meant like content.
There's a lot of
R.
Oh, okay.
But he's a
-1 on
basically
it doesn't go negative.
Basically, he's going to like fix somebody's pipes or whatever. No pun intended. He's going to do something, and then all of a sudden the power goes out in the building, and he's stuck on an elevator with a girl that he never actually gets a look at
because it's pitch black.
It gets pitch black.
What?
And he ends up losing his virginity to her, and then passes out. And then he wakes up, and he's in the elevator.
She's leaving,
and she's gone.
Like the door's open, and all he sees is like a tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she like walks away.
And it becomes Clue.
Kind of. So like the rest of the movie, he's like everyone loves him. It's like, oh hey Jimmy or whatever his name is, and he's like, is that the girl? So he's trying to figure out who he lost his virginity to.
Have I been inside you?
The cast is insane. It's Larissa Oleynik,
Emmanuel
Jamie Presley,
Emmanuel
and Entourage.
Yes.
Her, Katherine
Heigl.
It's basically every hot girl from 2000.
This is like
2001.
This was like when all the movies were coming out.
This is when 9/11 happened, and we all
this was like head over heels. Like
it was September 10th when this came out.
Can't hardly wait. Whatever it takes.
All that.
She's all that.
Who is the guy? Is he anyone? Is it also Freddie Prinze Jr.?
He was in Blank Check, wasn't he? Or Paycheck.
Ben Affleck?
Not that one. Cash Back. He's in the movie Cashback. I only know what that movie is because my roommate loves that movie a lot.
I don't know that movie, and it sounds like he's not anyone.
I feel like we should watch the trailer.
Adam, all right, our junior associate producer Adam is going to pull this up right now.
Has Adam gotten a title demotion since?
No,
Adam has all the time. He wears many hats.
It's called 100 Girls.
Just be careful
100?
for the movie.
Michelle
Maybe don't
Obama
type in-
was
I know.
what was typed in the subject line that we crossed out together.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that guy.
Oh, his roommate.
His roommate had like some weird disease where he had like a vagina on the end of his penis.
Early aughts trailers. Let's hear it
Yes.
right now.
Okay, one sec.
We probably can't put this on the podcast, can we?
No.
No, we can't. Nobody listens. We had like 40 listeners last.
And like 30 of them were Allison.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. Allison's my favorite person.
I love women.
The ska
100
intro.
girls.
Katherine Heigl.
And one of them is my true love. My forever
Alex Mack.
soulmate. My cosmetic destiny. The problem
Holy
is,
Jamie
broad.
Presley.
I don't know who she is. My back was to her when the blackout hit. We never knew
The
each
beginning
other's
kind of
names.
looks like a horror movie, right?
Good
Yeah, until you
morning.
see the tits, then
She
it's a
was
real
gone.
horror movie for me.
Pathetic, man. When you lose your virginity, you don't even know who it's with.
I'm not the girl.
Women are nothing but trouble. You don't want a girlfriend.
Do STDs exist
the hell
in
is
the
that?
world of this movie?
Peanut
I
butter,
know.
man. It's gonna help me increase my length and girth, all
God.
just by hanging weights from my cock. So I'm gonna be
Yeah, he fucks up his dick doing this though. He's like, yeah.
Oh, he breaks it, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he breaks his dick. Yeah, Larissa Olenek, Alex Mack.
You're never gonna get into that version.
I can't believe they show boobs.
Yeah, boobs on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Matt, the new work study
Oh,
maintenance
eyebrow
man.
picky girl.
Dude, they really cover the whole.
This movie looks like it looks like someone took weak porn tropes and made a movie out of it.
It's a very good movie.
Is it?
It is a good
It is a
movie.
good
When's the
movie.
last time you saw it?
10 years ago?
Yeah.
of each girl
I bet if you rewatched it.
But look at Katherine Heigl.
This was just
Prepare
right
to get naked.
before she blew up.
Now I want to see my trophy.
In when was
She's hot. I heard
Knocked
Blind
Up.
Items. I heard she's horrible to feel. So horrible.
That
Hey,
rings
what are
true.
these?
Those are
But
my
Emmanuel
big
Shariki is one of the most
marbles.
beautiful
Now
women in the
I
entire
put
world.
inside of me, I rock my legs, and I
Oh
get
yeah,
up.
she eats Captain Crunch.
And then she kills her boyfriend with her
Yes.
doubles.
He
They
dies?
Fall, yeah, they fall out of her vagina.
No, he
doesn't
doesn't
die. He
die.
breaks his neck and he's like,
No, he breaks his teeth.
oh, he breaks his teeth. You're right. Spoiler
Stop
alert.
trying to find me.
Why do they all want to be with this guy?
Because
Because
they
Because
Okay.
he's so sweet.
So he's
Oh,
he's so sincere.
he's hung like a and he's
No,
like,
that's what
I
like
thought.
a
That's a
nice-
plus. I mean,
well,
that's
there's
why
that,
Nathan
but he's also
Yeah,
like, so
right.
you know that scene where they're
I had to
all
find her.
at the windows and they're like, I'm your girl.
I'm
This
the
part,
one.
I'm the one.
Yeah.
I'm the girl. It's because he's like outside and being like,
Is that a fantasy?
I have loved you forever. And since that moment when, and your boobs were like, I could put your boobs in a champagne coupe.
Yeah, he
And
described.
they were like the perfect size for my hands and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And they're all like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's a point where he's like, you know, his roommate who's got the fucking thing, the ball, like the weights hanging from
Yeah,
his
they're
nuts.
both supporting players in late '90s, early 2000s
Yes.
movies.
Like they
We're
were,
missing,
they
we're
were
missing a star. in
Okay,
this
so
movie.
you know how in Can't Hardly Wait, like
Yeah.
Seth Green's character, these guys are his friends in that.
Yeah, oh
movie.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a
They're
really
those-
good reason.
So this entire movie is sort of a side movie on a bigger hit of
Yes.
that era.
But the girls carry this movie.
Yeah.
well, duh.
Well, now they do because we know who they are. But at the time,
They were all.
this was
before.
like this came out the time when like Jennifer Love Hewitt was like
Was
the queen of the
ruling.
world. I also
Like Heartbreakers.
yes,
era.
She was queen
yes.
bee.
Like I also just watched I Know What You Did Last Summer
The first one.
For the first time.
for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Over
what'd you
Halloween
think?
weekend.
Oh my god! So it was like Jennifer Love Hewitt, but then Rose McGowan was kind of like the anti.
Yeah, well, kind of.
If you had to pick one to have sex with once,
Well, Jennifer Love Hewitt vajazzles.
What is that?
that's a okay.
So she's
Vajazz-
Not interested in vajazzling. Like that's just like, if I see that, I'm like, really scrape this shit off. real quick?
Oh,
Why do you need? I mean, all right, let me put a fucking temporary tattoo of Pikachu on my penis. Like, who's gonna
what
like?
impressive.
Yeah,
I've seen a scorpion.
Adam, our associate producer, is like, "What's up?"
on the penis. Is the penis a part of it where it's like this?
Oh, no, that's just a scorpion right on it.
Well, that's a game that we could play. Is I used to play. Well, not like that, but like
Get a
where
tattoo on your
we
dick.
put a bunch of temporary tattoos in one hat and then a bunch of body parts in the other, and then we See how many temperatures.
do that.
Yeah.
I think girls who get there with JJs,
Chocha.
like
Kusawachi?
pierced, I think that's hot.
Oh no.
A clitoris piercing?
The clitoris piercing, and then when they like pierce.
I've never encountered that.
No,
Have you,
no. Yes, I'm
Name names.
trying to remember.
I think that's
Here
hot.
we
Like, I
go.
mean, I'm not turned on hot. I just think that it's fierce for them to do that.
You also run the risk where if you get it pierced, sometimes you just lose all feeling.
Really?
No. That's why I'll never get a Prince Albert.
Well, I've asked about men who.
good.
That's why.
Dude, I had a friend in high school. Oh, yeah, okay, good. I had a friend in high school. He was, like, chronically a virgin. And God bless him, he was a ginger. And, like, ginger works for girls.
We all
no,
until
see,
we
but the
until we
thing
have
is, like,
sex. We're
the
all
thing is,
fine.
like-
Ginger work for
But
girls.
the thing is, no, you're either like a hot ginger or not a hot ginger.
Name one hot ginger as a guy.
Ron Weasley.
Wait, he's a hot ginger?
No,
You
the
need to
guy
have
in
a
Band
seat.
of Brothers, and he was also in.
I say
fucking...
Prince
okay.
Harry.
You know who
versus
I'm talking
Ron.
about.
Yeah, Homeland dude?
He's a
Yes,
handsome guy,
yes.
right? Also, he's
Hello, he
royalty.
just got.
I
he
didn't
got him
watch.
a
Oh,
swirly-
Prince Harry. Yes.
He got him a
okay, see,
swirly
I didn't
girl.
watch. I didn't watch the other one, Homeland, but I knew him in Band of Brothers. And he's hot in Band of Brothers.
Here's the thing. Like, I think, like, if you're, like, an okay girl, like, if you're a 6.
Okay.
You're a solid 6, but you're also a ginger, that bumps you up to a 9. Because that shit's rare. That's rarer than any other, like,
Yeah.
I feel like,
True.
flavor.
You're like the gray white buffalo.
Yes, well said.
Is
But you're a
that's
guy,
just an
though, you're
Irish?
fucking
That's
dorky.
just an Irish
You're like-
thing. You have an Irish.
Well, that's racist, Trevor, because Irish people are not gingers.
What are they?
Irish people have brown hair and
Potato sucking-
name one Irish ginger. Name one.
Fred and George.
name one.
Weasley.
An Irish
He's English.
ginger. Well, Prince Harry rules Ireland technically, so he is Irish.
He's English.
Well,
The guy in the Lucky Charms.
You think they let a
yeah, Lucky Charm. The leprechaun.
It's a stereotype.
The leprechaun.
It's a
and
stereotype that does not often get addressed because honestly, Irish people don't care.
Now, I've heard all gingers are well hung.
That's not true.
That's rude.
Rude as it may be. Actually, I don't know where I'm basing that off of. I have no
Oh,
idea.
Scottish then. Scottish? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, Scottish.
Scottish people are
Scottish,
gingers.
the northern part of the same island that is the United
Is that
Kingdom.
where Anne of Green Gables is from?
I don't know who read that shit.
No, I just
I did.
realized that Scotland and Ireland are right by each other. That's why their dialects are so similar.
They're a body of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the England is like this
Americans.
big. Well, actually, I take that back. It's this tiny little island about
Yep.
the size of Hawaii,
Yep.
and then
Really?
the
It's
northern.
the size of Hawaii?
Dude, it's small. I mean, it's like the size of New York.
Isn't it the
size of New York State?
California?
No,
No.
it's not the size of New York State.
It's less than half the size of California. So let's split the difference and say it's about the size of Maine.
Really?
Dude, honestly, England, or the entire country of England, I think is about the size of
12
Maine.
million people? Right? Does that sound right?
That's a lot of people for that little
12
small
million. I mean,
spot.
New York is 8 million though, and it's way bigger than.
And think about it, like London is one of, like, if you think of like the top 5 biggest or most influential cities of the world, you got New York, LA, London, probably Shanghai and Tokyo.
Hong Kong.
I thought you were going
Hong
to make us
Kong.
name
Hong Kong.
5 cities in England. And I'm
Name
like,
5 cities in England.
London. Is South London? No. Manchester.
Yep.
Yep.
Birmingham.
Liverpool.
Yep. Go on, you got this.
In
Cambridge. Oxford. No.
That's well, Oxford's a college. Cambridge is a part of.
Oxford's a part of England.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that's like Syracuse is a city. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Nottingham.
Surrey.
Yeah.
Essex.
Essex.
Like the show.
Sons of Essex.
The only way is Essex.
Yeah. That's like the Jersey Shore of there.
Oh, really?
If there's any geographic area or people group that we can be this bluntly ignorant about, I'm glad it's
fuck 'em.
the UK.
Dude, we got to get Jay Mystery on the show next time he comes to
Should.
New York.
He's so nice though.
He's so nice.
They're all nice.
Oh,
right?
Anajan's gonna be here. He's kind
I
of.
played poker with Anajad.
Ahmadinejad.
I fucked his name up.
Anajan.
I thought his name was Anajan.
Anajan.
I called him AJ because I was like, I'm not gonna even try. I'm like, what's up, AJ? He's like, how's it going? And then we riffed on like,
how's it going? I like that.
he was like talking about something. And so, guys, I want to tell you still, and we were like,
He doesn't even talk
we started
like that.
making. No, I know, and that's part of the story because we started like. The second he like said something, we were like, "Oh, you said that really cute," and we started like going in on his accent, and I don't even think he finished his story.
They have a great variety, even beyond the Scottish and the Irish. There are a whole lot of different accents there that they have.
Oh yeah,
and
but you can
blur
say
them
the
all
same
together.
about that in America.
Oh, true.
Not
even more so in America.
Yeah.
Think about you got
Yeah,
Boston,
Southern
and they're like,
accent.
"Yo, you want to go out to the bars?" And we'll go like
Minnesota.
Yeah, that's Boston.
Minnesota's like an upper Midwest.
Like
Then
a
you got
far
the
south.
South, and they're
You've got
like,
a-
"Yo,
you've got a Southern.
Hey, y'all,
Valley Girl.
Oh my
Right.
god.
Valley
Right.
Girl."
Yep. Texan.
Is Texan? Is it different from Southern? Would you say
Yeah.
different from Southern?
No, I think it's different.
It's
It's
different
slower
right
and
now.
longer.
But then you have like really like nuanced
Boston.
ones. You have like
Philadelphia.
Baltimore and Philadelphia are like so nuanced.
Yeah, there are nuances that I don't. It's when you say water, they say
Water.
Water.
Like, some water.
Right.
What do you? The Baltimore one I can't do. I watched
Balmer.
The Wire.
The
Balmer.
Wire, and then like Snoop.
Yes.
Like she's my favorite character, and she's a real deal.
Oh,
you know
not-
her story, right?
Not dog.
She's not an actor. No, Snoop from The Wire.
Oh.
She was not an actor. She was just a gangbanger. They found off the streets, and they're like, "Hey, can you say these lines?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." And she just fucking did them. And I think she's out of jail now. But after the show aired, she did like 8 years in jail for like accomplice to a murder and stuff.
What?
Dude, The Wire is the real deal. Prop Joe, rest in peace. Have you ever seen that show? You guys seen that?
I haven't. It's next
No.
on the
Patrick watched it really
list.
fast.
It's probably, I think Breaking Bad is probably the best piece of television ever created, and I think The Wire is the second.
Oh.
It is just a masterpiece. And if you like Idris Elba,
You do. Luther?
same tease. Well, have you ever heard him talk in real life?
Yes.
He told, I heard him like telling this story about, he used to sell
British.
weed.
Oh yes.
He used to sell weed in New York.
What?
And the comedy cellar and stuff. He would just like be the guy. I'm like,
what?
yeah.
Wow.
He and Madonna are good friends.
Yes, I can see it.
He's solid actor.
I would love to have a beer with him. If you could have a beer with any actor, or actress, who would you be?
I think he's good, but I think that he's one of those men that can tend to go super serious all of a sudden and go for a moment.
Kind of Denzel.
Right.
Oh,
Where you're
yes.
just kind of like,
Like it's too much.
yes.
He needs to do a comedy. Denzel needs to do a comedy too, right? Has he ever done a comedy?
Like Seth Rogen and Denzel Washington.
We bought
But
a
he needs
zoo too.
Paul Fart Mall Crap.
But he needs to not play the Ice Cube role in
Yes.
that, because that's what he would be in a Seth Rogen, Denzel Washington. He would be Ice Cube.
Like, I can't
scowling
wait to
at Kevin
see
Hart.
this new movie coming out. The Office.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it The Office Christmas or...
Oh, yes. Who? Yes,
Jennifer
the office
Aniston.
party.
Yeah,
Christmas
Office Party.
Christmas
yeah.
party.
Well, the reason why I really want to see it is because it takes Courtney Vance out of
Courtney
it.
Vance. That's right.
I think he's one of our greatest actors.
Super
right
a guy named
now. Right. And I
Courtney
think
Vance.
Oh, what was
Courtney
he?
B. Vance. He was just in the American Crime Story.
Yeah, he was the
Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran in the OJ series. He was if nobody watched The Closer, but he was the police chief in season 6 who died. Random spoiler alert for The Closer season 6. Anybody who hasn't seen it?
I mean,
Well, I don't think many single moms are listening, so I think we're probably going to be all right.
He's just he's one of those actors who are considered the serious actor.
So serious.
And he's outside of his box
She has a
in this
cat,
movie.
so isn't she a single mom?
But isn't he from the trailer?
Shout out to an early listener.
He is still like a serious guy who lets loose.
At first he lets loose. And this is something I've never seen him do on TV or even on film. This will be a first for him.
I really wish I knew who he was.
He's married to Angela Bassett.
He is.
Who is another phenomenal actor out there.
Would she be who you would have a beer with?
I actually would love to have a beer with Angela Bassett.
I would love to have a bass with Angela Bassett.
A bath?
If we eat... No, a bass. We each
a bath. I would have a bath.
Yeah.
We had a fish that was a bass.
Would you eat it together?
Angela Bassett
or
does
would
not
you catch
age,
it together?
I believe.
No, right?
I think we shoot content around that. We go bass fishing with Angela Bassett. We catch a fish, and then we clean it and cook it.
Do you know how many people have still not seen What's Love Got to Do with It?
Raising my hand.
You've never seen it? Oh my God!
Everyone else in the room is
straight
here.
white
Adam
man.
has seen it because he didn't raise his hand.
Phenomenal film. Phenomenal. Tina Turner story. Phenomenal. And
Is that where the song's from?
Well, it's not from that.
Got to do it. That song,
I
right?
can bring it.
You guys are we clearing that for the podcast?
What song is that?
We can do the rights. We can do the rights.
Doesn't have to be a certain amount of seconds.
You know what we haven't done today is thank our sponsors.
Oh, we haven't.
Right. What was the last one? Stamps.com.
Stamps.com. I also want to give a big shout out to... Fuck, I couldn't think of a sponsor in time.
Casper mattresses. They will let you sleep on your mattress for at least 100 days to make sure that you have happy dreams. Yeah.
Well, that is a sweet deal, and I'm going to call up Casper Mattresses right now.
Mattresses.
And I'm going to say, listen, you need to call Danny Masterson from That 70s Show.
Scientologist.
And he's a known Scientologist, and you need to get him as your spokesperson, and that's how I will buy your mattress.
All right.
100 days.
If you ever want me to buy your mattress.
Danny Masterson endorses your mattress.
Horrid. I just want to thank Pornhub.com.
Yes.
Yep.
That's just round of applause.
So yes, we should get started on our structure that we agreed to right before.
Oh, God.
You don't have to compromise. Hey, old boy.
Police let us through.
And then police want to come through. So they're cowards.
What do you mean?
He's wearing a Freddy Krueger sweater, by the way. Anybody point that out?
Shame. Hang on, though. What could police have possibly done?
Oh my God! I just read all that text.
I know, right? That's a twist.
I didn't...
So Tia.
Oh my God!
So they dropped the guy who got
Tackled.
He's dropping the charges because the dude that tackled him had Asperger's and probably maybe didn't know what he was doing.
Is that why he was like, "You idiot"?
And I get it, dude. All right, so I used to be a substitute teacher between like breaks in college. So when we come home for spring break, just basically had a week at home, and I would go substitute teach in my own school district. And that means they would send me wherever. So sometimes I'd fill in for science class in 6th grade. 90% of the time, you just hand out a packet or you put on
Play a movie.
You play a movie. Dude, honestly, movies were most of it. But there was one time, there was like 2 days in a row, where I was filling in for a like a special needs aide. And I got paired up with the fucking coolest kid in the world. He had like extreme what's like autism. Extreme autism.
Extreme autism.
And
Asperger's is a form of autism.
Asperger's is a form of autism, but I mean, I feel like there's people, and I'm no expert on this at all. So forgive my ignorance, America. But
Just Allison.
you my ignorance, Allison.
Hey,
I call Allison America sometimes.
It's just Allison, you guys.
But yeah, no, this kid, me and him spent 2 days together, just riding the elevator all the time. He had like 4 classes, and they were great. And he was so much smarter than the teachers. Like the special ed classes had like 6 teachers for like 6 kids, and he would just. His favorite word to say was, "You imbecile!" And so he would be like doing his work and stuff, and like if somebody was like, "No, well, actually, you got to do this," be like, "I know that, you imbecile!" And so his thing was he knew geography. He knew the capital of every single state of every single country in the world. He just didn't have the social like mechanisms to be able to, have friendships the way that we do, those kind of relationships. And I remember the second day, I was like, I got him. And so I was like, hey, dude, what's the capital of Massachusetts? Or, sorry, take that. Fuck, I fucked that up. I was like, dude, what's the capital? Because he knew the capital of, like, every single country and every single state. I was like, what's the capital of Boston? He's like, dude, the capital of Boston is not a thing, you imbecile! I was like, yes, it is. Tell me the capital of Boston. If you can't get it, I'll tell you what it is. He's like, it's not! I was like, it's the letter B.
Oh!
And his mind was blown. And he flipped out at me. But anyway, I can see, going back to this video we just watched, I can see kind of how situations and the kind of atmosphere that these protests and all the pressures and all the different factors that come in can lead to somebody who maybe doesn't have all the tools to deal with a stressful situation like that, could lead to push somebody down the stairs.
Context is everything.
Context is everything. And a lot of the videos that show this is like Trump supporter pushing a peaceful protester down the stairs. And that's not what happened in this case. And I think that's a lot of
text on the YouTube video that says, for our listeners.
Yes, there's text on the YouTube video that supports
explaining the situation.
But then I also looked it up on the local, like, where is this, Ohio?
Like the actual
Ohio
news
State.
situation that
And they were like,
what
and
fully
there's
happened.
Exactly, and there's an interview with the victim, and he was like, yeah, we're not going to press charges.
But I mean,
like,
don't you guys think that this is that generally happens with American media in general?
all the time.
Is that they can take a 4-second clip and turn it into a spun story that has nothing to do with the actual scenario.
100%. Let me ask you, what happened in Benghazi? What was that?
Oh, Lord.
I know Trevor's got a lot to unpack. But Trevor, I think you and I are
We've never talked about Benghazi, but
I have a feeling we have the same.
Excuse me, guys.
probably. I mean, yes, I'm sure we have the same stance on Benghazi because I feel like we probably voted for the same person this election.
We did. Hillary, raise your hand. You voted for
Jill
Hillary.
Stein. Oh,
You voted for Jill Stein?
no, I voted for Hillary. That was a.
I can't vote.
Oh, yeah. But if you were to vote,
I would have voted for Hillary.
that's what's up.
But the context, interesting context thing, because I was this is a random cultural appropriation thing. I was thinking
Trevor's
about.
on his second glass of punch.
I am,
Yeah.
and I had a couple drinks before I got here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shocking.
I have a lot to say about cultural appropriation.
I know,
so
and
please go.
so this is not a 5-minute remaining conversation point, but it was the point. The thesis of all of this is context is everything, and I went to a silent disco dance
cool.
party thing, mobile dance party thing. I know, right?
Did you take Molly?
I didn't, and it was amazing anyway. But it was. I went
white
to a
people
Halloween
say.
one that was at the beginning of October. Only a couple people dressed up, but this one guy dressed up as an Orthodox, in full Orthodox Jewish regalia with the peyotes and the hat and the whole thing. And anybody you saw him would be
Is
like,
that cool? I don't think so.
"No, that's okay."
Well,
so this is
I
the thing.
don't think so.
Okay, here, but break it down. But what I'm going to follow it up with will give it context because Okay, I just killed that. So anyway, he showed up with that, and I didn't know the guy, but a mutual friend of ours was like, oh yeah, this guy, let's call him
Moshi.
Moshi.
Just a standard normal name.
Yeah, but he was, but my friend Holly said, oh yeah, because I just saw him come up and it's this, like rave, that, like lights and all of this. Yeah, most people are on Molly or something like that. And he shows up and I'm just thinking, oh, okay, yeah, here's sort of costume. But she said, no, he grew up Orthodox. He has a son with a woman who is still in the Orthodox community, and they have very contentious things about it. So for him, it's he grew up in this and he comes from it, and it's a very much a him doing that, whatever, he comes from it, and it's a statement on it in a way where it's like, oh yeah, it's not just some random guy being like, oh, this is.
So it wasn't a costume. He was just wearing clothes.
No, it was. He's not anymore. He was raised in the Orthodox community, but he's not in it anymore. Very intentional. Like this is a bad thing. So it was like a statement where he came from. But the point of all of this was, I had no idea until I talked to someone. I was like, oh wait, he knows more about all of this than I do.
For me, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
So it's either nobody can do anything else that we can't. Remember, we used to be cowboys and Indians for Halloween.
Yes.
Can't do that anymore.
Yep.
Cultural appropriation.
Hillary Duff just got in trouble for that.
Yeah, well, she shouldn't have.
She was wearing a leotard, like a pilgrim outfit. That was the leotard.
Well, I think the thing you say slippery slope. So I think it's.
I think people are just way too sensitive.
Yes, and it cost Hillary the election. Honestly, I think.
Yeah.
Whoa! How did people being too sensitive cost Hillary the election?
No, Hillary caused that. One, Hillary's.
Anthony Weiner sending his dick out cost Hillary the election.
That factored in. There's a lot of things that factored in.
And if Beyonce couldn't get people to vote, then nothing can happen.
Well, the people that Beyonce could have reached were going to vote for Hillary anyway.
Mm-hmm. The margin was so small that random chance is essentially the deciding
But half
factor.
of America didn't vote.
Yeah.
Half of America didn't vote.
Yeah, half of America doesn't vote.
Half of America doesn't vote at all.
It's the deciding in the states. The deciding factor is somewhere. I think it's somewhere around 120,000 people. Hillary's going to win. Currently, she's up. I think last I saw 1.3 million. Probably when all the votes are counted from
Popular
the absentees
votes.
in California, she's going to be up by 2 million.
Yeah.
So just from the context of nothing matters and it's all random anyway.
And the electors are going to still vote for Donald Trump come December 16th.
Yes.
Donald Trump is the president.
He is. But the cultural appropriation thing, I think it's because whenever you and I talk about this stuff, it's great because I often resort to sort of knee-jerk, like, oh, this is bad, and I think you are great, and like, wait, but why? It's like, and sometimes then I think about it, it's like, well, I don't know, because Slate said this is bad, and like Vox said this is bad, and so I'm forced to actually understand.
I mean, I think it's an ever-growing kind of debate within yourself, all of us, with like the stuff that we read and the stuff that we actually feel, like our gut and what we feel. So I was totally fuck. Wrap it up, just fuck me up. We can go like an hour 15. Like there's no like limit on this.
Oh no, I'm just saying.
Did you get the red light from the comedy show host? It's like
Our associate producer.
Do like they do at the Grammys.
Yeah. I'm waiting for like the cane, the Apollo cane to come like.
I never knew what that was until I actually went to the Grammys.
Well,
You see the guy, he's like.
Right side.
No, but here's the thing. Back to the slippery slope part of a cultural appropriation. Mm-hmm. Like, if we're all just going to be like, well, no. This is just for black people.
Right.
And this is just for Latino people. You guys can't do it. Then, like, what purpose does that serve? Are we going to say no more white rappers, no black hockey players, because that's for white people?
Right.
Like, it's stupid.
Here,
and I understand like the mocking of other people's cultures and the disrespect of that. Mm-hmm. But there's something way different than like on like Cinco de Mayo having tacos at work.
Right.
That's not offensive.
Well, I mean, I think that, for instance, like Whoopi Goldberg was recently talking on The View, and she was trying to make her point, and her co-host wasn't getting it at all. And she was like, "This is the reason why we black people don't want to talk to white people about these issues,
right?
Because it becomes this I don't get it situation when all it is that 9 times out of 10, the black person is saying it's just something that I don't feel."
Yeah.
And the white person saying, well, I don't understand why you're not feeling it. I'm just saying my point of view. And they don't want to accept that point of view because it's only coming from one point of their own point of view.
Where the black person is saying, I'm not okay with you doing this. Or I'm not just like not necessarily me as all black people, just me as myself as whatever I can speak for. Like, this isn't cool with me.
Right.
And it's like, well, why not? We're friends and we're cool, right?
Right, exactly. And I had a coworker, for instance, she would say the N-word around with me all the time.
Talking about Ellie, right?
No, I'm used to Ellie. But this is another Latin girl who would drive me home from work, and she would she would say the full word, not
with the R at the end.
Yes, and
that's not cool.
And she was describing the black guy from Twilight. The one with the dreads who played the vampire.
Kellen Lutz.
No,
right.
no.
There's some black people in Twilight?
No, I forgot his
name.
There's
no black people in Twilight, dude.
I guess supposedly he hit her up at the club and they had a little moment and he was still trying to capture the cookie and he wasn't getting the cookie. But she would blatantly say this
if anybody was wondering, capture the cookie.
But she would just blatantly just say it in front of me. And I mean, granted, I'm very bilingual in all cultures. Mm-hmm. So we would be just having good conversation and all of a sudden this would slip in there. And I mean, part of me wanted to be like...
Get it slipping.
Stop sign.
Just the tip, yeah.
No, I want the full thing. But I would tell her, I'd stop sign, you need to watch it. Because I sort of feel a certain way about it.
Yeah.
And it was just, for me, it was the fact that it was just so freely given. And like it wasn't the fact of what she was saying, because I mean, obviously he was acting the part, but don't just think it's okay to just do this, without the question mark of, oh my God, I'm sorry. Like when somebody did it and they said that tells me that, okay, they have a little cautiousness there. They get it.
If they said it and then apologize for it afterwards.
Exactly.
It is kind of a weird thing because if I'm relaying to you a story about this crazy guy in the subway, and then he said the N-word.
Well, then you're describing
the word.
someone else, though.
Yeah, but I just as
but if you said this
measure,
crazy N-word on the subway,
right,
that would be different.
Then it's a different scenario.
But just as a safety net for myself, I won't say the actual word.
Yeah, the actual.
And I
what if it's in a song?
No. I mean, but
it has so much. It has. I think my thing on cultural appropriation is for things that have so much just loaded historical context, where it's like real, like that blackface, all this stuff. Where it's
know
like,
your
really,
audience.
are you really
know
gonna,
your
like,
audience.
what are you trying to do?
Speaking of blackface,
yeah.
All right, so I feel like, and this is white guy talking right now, but I feel like blackface is a thing that's super offensive. But it's also a very specific thing where you paint your face black and you do the white lips and you go like that whole thing. I think that's different. I think that's different than a kid, like somebody dressing up like their favorite basketball player or somebody.
I mean, that can be taken to the point of where it becomes a sensitivity issue. But I think that in today's society, it's just once again, know your audience, know who you're playing to, because
know the context of your country and what that means. You can't say, "Oh, there was never anything offensive about this."
So, is blackface going to be a thing moving forward in perpetuity?
Yes,
it is, because I'm sorry,
I disagree.
You'll find women that will be putting on a mud mask and taking a picture, and all of a sudden the internet blows up. Oh, she's got on blackface. Oh my God. And she maybe didn't mean it in that area. But the unfortunate part about it is that the internet takes things out of context.
For sure.
And they turn it into whatever they want to turn it into.
That is true. Charcoal masks are black.
Mm-hmm. No, very true.
Yeah.
What, a charcoal mask?
I mean, I'm just waiting for a sex tape to pop up.
Charcoal mask?
It's like a face mask.
Oh,
but
charcoal.
Yeah.
Mask. You disagree that it in perpetuity.
I don't see what service that serves anybody. So all right, the people hear me out, and please criticize what I have to say because I feel like it deserves a lot of criticism. So, blackface is a horrible, disgusting thing that stems from people in entertainment not giving black people the jobs of playing black roles, and so they would paint their face. White people would paint their face with this caricature of a black person, just the face painted black and the white lips and just super racist stuff like that. And so now I feel like that's been turned into any time a non-black person dresses up as a black person, that's considered blackface, which.
Well, it's not considered blackface, but it's considered the same insult.
But the intent, I think, in a lot of cases, is someone's like, okay, I'm a 10-year-old kid and I want to be my favorite basketball player, Kobe Bryant. So I can put on a Kobe Bryant jersey and I'll carry a basketball, go trick or treating, but I will not put on.
So, but that I would say that
you have to teach that child.
But that act is loaded, because that has context where they say where just wearing the jersey and having the basketball is not enough.
I still say know your audience.
Where you say, oh no one's going to recognize me as Kobe Bryant if I don't color my face to match him. They won't understand that I'm dressing.
Oh no,
him.
if he dresses like that and they go trick or treating down in Compton or South Central.
Right. You shouldn't do that. So that's what I'm saying. The Liam's thing is if a kid wants to dress as Kobe Bryant, the jersey and the basketball, and you can't do it context free because no 10-year-old kid is or should be ignorant of the racial history of America.
Yeah, but you have to remember that there are still people in that in the audience, the peering audience, that will take it, flip it, and spin it, and it turns into whatever they want it to be. You have to remember that. I mean, I once did a Janet Jackson competition, dressed as Janet, wore the stage out.
That's sexual appropriation.
And I was at
that's gender appropriation, and
I thought I had it in the bag. Turns out the Latin girl won it, and I was incensed. I'm like, there are 3 black girls on this cast that came out here and wore the stage out, and y'all gonna choose her?
I mean, remember Dolly Parton lost the Dolly Parton lookalike contest. So.
That is true.
Oh, really?
That is very true.
Pretty good.
I think our junior associate producer Adam had something to say about the blackface.
So
go ahead, Adam.
That I think that in Compton, you're obviously going to offend people, but it's even more important to teach a 10-year-old child in the suburbs in Westchester that it's not okay to wear blackface. I mean, because, that's where we have to teach our children and influence children to not do those sorts of things.
Because it's the historical context. Because if you say, oh no, it's because if you look at it and say, look, I was born in 1986, everything is fine now. But you say, no. The world that we live in and the world and the way that everything is and where people are and where who has advantages and whatnot is not because of what's happened since I was aware in the mid-90s to today. It's because of what's happened since the country started. And so if you're not aware of that, you can't say, Oh no! Everything's fine because from when I look, I have a black friend who went to my suburban, Chicago school and all this. You have to understand under the context of what it's relating to and like what blackface does to I think dehumanize black people and do a minstrel sort of thing where even black people had to put on that thing and do that, and so it's like what. I mean, for me, the two questions are like, what are you trying to do with it, and then also like what. There was another question I forgot. Oh, it would have been so good if I had two questions lined up for it. But it's sort of like, it's there are some things that are obvious that have such historical resonance of like this has been used to oppress and disenfranchise people like blackface and like yellowface and the N-word and all of these things and those things that anybody can look at and be like, that's like offensive in
Now what about Joanne the Scammer?
What is that?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the heat off me. I really appreciate that.
Were you feeling
No,
that?
I'm saying Joanne the Scammer.
Who's Joanne the Scammer?
The one with My Caucasian Home. You guys ever seen the little video clips of her? Where she like goes in and she...
We're all in silence right now because we have no idea what Dee's talking about.
Is it Brandon Miller or something? He's Joanne the Scammer. And he goes like he's in this home and he's showing off all these things and like he's in a blonde wig.
Oh, is he the one where he jumps the fence?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean that he's appropriated the white woman culture because that's what it's all about. Now, I mean, but the funny thing is I haven't seen the great outcry of what he's doing.
Well,
he's what is he? Wait, appropriating a white woman culture.
I mean, he's a biracial black male who dresses in a blonde wig and a ratty fur coat. And his premise is my Caucasian home, or my Caucasian car, or this is my Caucasian rug.
There's no reason for us to be that. I mean, and I understand the reason why, like, kind of the punching down thing that we talked about, like, like white people have not been oppressed for.
The dominant
like ever, really.
You can't. There's an argument that you cannot culturally appropriate the dominant culture,
right?
And so if you're playing, I am from a minority culture and I'm pretending to be the dominant culture. Look at me playing this, but I cannot actually like in life, like if is it a woman doing it or a man doing it or
no, it's a guy.
It's a guy doing it. Like if a guy dresses up, like is he going to pass as a white man in society? Like, is he, all of the things, right?
Everyone's homework is to go pull up Joanne the Scammer.
Okay.
So that you guys can
go to Joanne Fabrics on the way.
We can fully discuss this next week.
His latest commercial is hilarious, though. It's hilarious.
You can email it to us, and then we can discuss it next week. Next time.
But very hilarious. Brandon has a past in amateur porn via Pornhub and
send me that link.
Stuff.
Off the chain, send me that link.
Straight? Gay?
Either. I think it's gay, but he does more solo stuff.
Oh, like jerking himself off,
right?
Sort of thing.
And so he comes from a very...
I like any more of a story.
He comes from a very popular past with that, and just now Joanne the Scammer has kind of blown up in the last year.
Is there a story with that where it's like, I'm going to jack off?
No.
For me, there's not much of a story for that,
in the dawning of internet and people, social media and things of that nature, I think there's a genuine interest with Vine and stuff like that.
What, that whole
Vine's
situation?
Well, Vine, what's the other one? Snapchat.
Vine.
There's a lot of like guys on Snapchat now doing the whole solo action. So there's a lot of people that are genuinely tuning in to watch this.
If you're good looking enough, you can do anything by yourself.
True. But I mean, I'm picky, so I don't.
Trevor, 2020.
We're 40 minutes
running for president 2020?
We're 40 minutes over.
Kanye's running for
40 minutes over.
2020.
Yo, this has been
a great episode.
Great episode. We're wrapping it up.
Are we doing intros now?
We're gonna cut and then do intros.
Oh, okay.
Special thanks to social justice warrior Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor, do you have anything you want to plug as a cis white male with flowing hair that looks like the Windows 95?
Thank you. I don't.
He has Disney Prince hair.
Well, I'm gonna
Very
plug.
true.
I'm gonna plug. There is a Queens-based Donald Trump protest happening, starting in Queens, marching across Queensboro Bridge
Okay.
this weekend.
What about for people that'll actually show up to something?
Yeah.
No, nothing. I have nothing.
Okay, cool. Well, awesome. This has been the Principal's Office,
Episode number 2.
episode number 2.
With our first guest.
With our first guest,
First guest.
Trevor Cushman.
That's me.
Push.
I'm Liam.
I'm also Liam.